Class of '07, relieved parents and friends. I'd just like to start today by saying a little thank you to our distinguished faculty and administration. We beat you. Oh, you tried to get us with your homework, your rapidly vacillating dress code policies, and your exams, but we ran the gauntlet and won. And as a result, you have to throw us this fancy party, complete with man dresses. To all the SAS taxpayers who shelled out the cash for this fine event, thanks for the hat. But as we are about to graduate, I better dispense my wisdom while I'm still an immortal teenager, and subsequently, I still know everything. Now, in thinking about writing this speech, I decided I needed a format that would be instantly recognizable to everybody in the audience. So I picked one at random, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. Here goes. Dearly beloved, we are gathered here in the sight of Mr. Gross and in the presence of parents and faculty to join this graduating class and that big, scary, real world out there in holy matrimony. You know, one of the things that has always gotten me mad is a constant barrage from our teachers and parents that goes something like this. You're living in a dream world, disconnected from actual reality. Do you realize how privileged you are? You brats wouldn't last a second in the real world. I might have just had particularly abusive parents and teachers, but they all keep harping on the word real. So on behalf of the senior class, look, we understand we're privileged. We've had many opportunities others our ages have not. And yes, perhaps some of us do suffer from silver spoon syndrome just a little bit. But I'm just going to say this once for all those who claim we aren't actually living real lives. Take a look at this senior class. Seniors, if after today you didn't go on to do anything special with your lives, and I'm sure you will, but imagine for a second that when you walk out that door, you'll all turn into pillars of salt. That as a result of those privileges, just how many lifetimes you've lived in 4 short years of high school? You're going to meet people at college that for them, college will be the furthest they've ever traveled from home. In 4 short years, you have spanned the globe, building houses and peeing into the wind on mountains during a term semester. You have competed in IAS's events against students not from the next district, but from entirely different countries. You have experienced cultures vastly different from your own on a casual 3-day break, where instead of heading up to grandma's house, you went elephant trekking in Thailand for the weekend. You have laughed and cried and sweat with other individuals from all across the world. You have done things in 4 short years that the vast majority of beings that inhabit this earth can only dream of doing in 100. I measure lifetimes in terms of richness of experience, and by that standard, you have lived thousands of lifetimes in your short journey at SAS. And how unreal is that? And finally, we've gathered here for our graduation ceremony, which is a ceremony marked to mourn the passing of our youthful indiscretion, our immaturity, our insecurity, and our adolescent angst, and trade it in for a high school diploma. It would be nice to think that with our high school graduation, we instantaneously shed all our faults to come into adulthood. But the reality is that between this morning and tomorrow morning, little has changed in our minds and our prejudices. Maturity cannot be found in how many degrees or titles we earn. In reality, we are no more mature tomorrow with diploma in hand than we were yesterday. We will, however, be held to a higher standard. People expect more from a person labeled a high school graduate than they do from an angsty adolescent. Don't be fooled by the titles. Maturity comes not in earning diplomas and degrees, but in recognizing how we are perceived, what is expected of us, then rising to the occasion. So to all of you who are graduating at the top of your class with straight A's, to all of you who are sighing with relief and thanking God you scraped by, and for all of you who are only graduating because your parents bet you money you couldn't, I say, surprise people, rise to the occasion, and Mom, you owe me $50. Now, in the spirit of shedding our immaturity and youthful indiscretion, I have a few things I'd like to get off my chest that have been burdening me for the past few years. Mr. Baker, we all thank you for invigorating school spirit by reinstituting the SAS fight song for the 50th anniversary. But when you sing, it sounds like a dying wombat. Mr. Neihart, I have been to every single honor roll brunch since freshman year and stuffed myself full of food and have not once been on honor roll my entire high school career. And last but not least, Mr. Norcott. Every time you came on the loudspeaker, I would always entertain whatever class I was in with my Norcott impression, which goes, "Attention students, there is a red Mazda, license plate number 5... There's no red Mazda, I'm just so lonely here in my office. I would love it if someone came and gave me a big old bear hug." I had a little epiphany when I was watching TV the other day. I was watching some professional politician rattle on about the next generation, and I realized that that next generation are teachers, politicians, and Shell commercials are always calling upon to change the world. That's us! And as an international community that has had the advantage of being enlightened firsthand to some of the woes of our society, we have a responsibility, first, to be aware of what is going on in the world, and second, to work to make it better. Think of all that's gone on in the world this year. Israel and Palestine, Iraq, immigration, nuclear North Korea, Kim Jong-il, Ahmadinejad, oil crisis, George W., Tony Blair, Saddam, Darfur, starvation, ethnic genocide, HIV, Brangelina. It seems the world's gone crazy. They broke it. I'm looking at you, parents. So we have to fix it. I remember once a friend was remarking on the lack of empathy suffered by the American public at large. He said, even when they know about atrocities being committed in other parts of the world, they don't care. They remain apathetic. So I remarked back, what's worse, knowing and not caring, or claiming you care and doing nothing about it? This next generation needs people who are not afraid to take action. As an educated, international community, it is our duty to fight evils all over the world like hatred, discrimination, oppression, poverty, and rap music. In conclusion to my speech tonight, teachers, you are the lovely people that inspired and educated us. A years-long speech could not express my eternal gratitude. Parents, I have an Irma Brombeck quote I'd like to recite. Graduation day is tough for adults. They go to the ceremony as parents. They come home as contemporaries. After 18 years of child raising, they are unemployed. But as you let go and say goodbye today, remember your children, even as adults, will always be your babies. And students, don't forget your parents. Throughout the rest of your lives, they will continue to be an important source of wisdom, advice, and loose cash. And also, there is a time and a place for everything. It's called college. Enough said. But most of all, as you look back at your days at SAS, I hope you remember the people. I don't know if we were the best class ever to come out of our school, but I can safely say that after tonight, for better or worse, the hallways of SAS will never be quite the same again. Class of 2007, you have pushed me farther than I thought I could go. But now a cold, frigid reality lies on the other side of that wall, and the real world beckons for us to join its chorus with all the promise and possibility that it presents.